Welcome everybody to the Geek Dad Report special report
Of specialness.
of super specialness. I mean, like, this news is so special, like, we should call it the Don't Look at My Pants special, because you're going to get a surprise and you may have to cover your eyes because I'm so excited for the news that we're about to report.
Or I would say the news that we're gonna whip out.
We're gonna-
It should.
We got, dude, do we have a big, giant, throbbing news story that we have to tell the world about that we're just going to... Welcome to the news! Ha! Geek Dad reports
Tried to hold it together as long as I could.
2 minutes of happiness. No?
The two pump
The
and
two,
dump.
the two pump dump of news. Awesome
Yeah.
storyness.
The two news
whatever.
pumps.
Whatever. You know what we're talking about. Me and Ryan will workshop this later. But we wanted to let everybody know that we are super excited for the news of today. Zack Snyder he did I don't know what you call it, everybody's been doing these watch things where they watch a watch party where they watch their movies that they made and they talk about kind of almost like a director's commentary. You can have people come on and with you and you talk about the things you did behind the scenes. Sometimes you have the actors. I know Henry Cavill showed up today for Zack Snyder's Man of Steel one. But at the very end of it, he announced something that a lot of us have been hoping for a very, very long time. The iconic, the unicorn of nerd things that we all wanted was the legendary Zack Snyder director cut of Justice League. We've heard about it for years. We've all hoped and prayed that maybe it would come to pass, that this would see the light of day. And guess what? It absolutely has. Zack Snyder announced today that the Justice League, his cut of the Justice League, which is apparently up to 4 hours long, is going to be released. 4 hours long. 4 hours long. That is some length and girth. It will be released in 2021, obviously on next year on HBO Max. It will be streaming on HBO Max.
Well, at least we'll get to watch it from home, so we can pause and take breaks and stuff like that. So
Yes. Well,
like I said, it is 4 hours long, and I think he's getting an extra $30 million or something like that to do the reshoots and all the extra stuff that they want to try and do. Apparently, everybody's on board to do it.
Yeah. So when anybody's not familiar with this, the original Justice League was shooting. There was a lot of behind-the-scenes drama. Warner Bros. Was apparently trying to change direction on how they wanted to do their comic thmovies. There was a lot of strife with Zack Snyder. They kept trying to... His movie originally was supposed to be a 2-part movie that they cut to 1 part. And there was just a lot of things that just seemed like a lot of drama behind the scenes. And then unfortunately, Zack Snyder's daughter passed away. And him and his wife stepped away from the movie to deal with the family. And... Warner Brothers brought in Joss Whedon to do reshoots, which most of us found out later was about 80% of the movie was reshot. And it just resulted in a weird Frankenstein movie of just nothing. It was just a nothing movie that wasn't anything. It was just kind of like, what is this? And
like Henry Cavill with obvious mustache CGI.
Mustache Gate. The worst CGI you have ever seen in most of that movie, because it was all put together really fast and really late in the process, and it just wasn't a good movie on any front. Now, that kind of validated what a lot of people who did not like Zack Snyder's view and direction of the franchise kind of validated them, like, oh, good. Now we can just be over this and end it. For a lot of us, though, who really did enjoy the direction that Zack Snyder was taking these films, we really, I don't want to say I feel robbed. So I'm a fan. I'm lucky to have all this stuff, but we were very upset that we didn't get to see the movie that we thought we were promised, that the vision of Zack Snyder and the kind of the payout of what he had put together. And so it's cool. We knew that there was a movie that, Zack himself had said that, hey, my movie exists. It's not finished, but it exists. And so 2 years ago, the release of Snyder Cut hashtag was born. A lot of people were behind it. It kept getting trended on Twitter, and people just didn't let this die. They wanted to see this movie see the light of day. And apparently the talks is that the director of Warner Bros. On the 2-year anniversary of the Snyder Cut, the release of Snyder Cut, the 2-year anniversary of release of Snyder Cut, was trending yet once again in America on Twitter and around the world, and it would not go away. So apparently Warner Brothers, when they knew that they were going to be releasing HBO Max, they were looking for some original content. They reached out to the Snyders and they said, "Hey, do you have this movie?" He said, "Yes, I do." Apparently he'd been holding on to it because he thought one day he'd be able to release a documentary or something where, a lot of the behind the scenes, he could release a lot of his stuff and tell his story.
Get something out of it.
Yeah, get something out of this. And apparently he's never seen the original Justice League because he's like, hey, that's not my movie. That's not the movie I wanted to make. But they talked to him and they came to understanding. Like you said, they're going to give upwards to $30 million to Zach and his wife to finish the special effects, finish the score, bring back the original cast and crew to film additional scenes if needed. But it sounds like mostly they're going to do some voiceovers and possibly film a couple things here and there. They're going to start this process immediately. They're going to do a lot of this during the coronavirus because most of the stuff that needs to be finished is special effects. And right now, a lot of the special effects houses are having to shut down because they don't have enough work. So they thought this would be a great time to give people some work and kind of finish the movie. So they're going to start this really soon. But like you said, everyone is on board. All the original cast, everyone's super excited. And all of us who...
working out, though. I mean, if they have not been working out, then, we're going to get Fat Ben Affleck as Batman.
Well, like I said, I don't know how many scenes they'd reshoot. My guess is if... they may want to do something where like, hey, because this is going to be a one-shot standalone, it's not relaunching the Justice League universe, the Zack Snyderverse, maybe they add a couple things here and there to kind of make it more of a standalone complete movie than kind of a teaser for the next one. But yeah, either way, I don't care. The movie's going to be about 4 hours. The other thing is that they could release it as a 6-episode series on, which is crazy. One movie as a 6-episode series on HBO Max.
So what if it turns out that this one is just a head and shoulders above and better than the Joss Whedon directed movie? Is that going to just be like, and then they decided to go with the Snyder, version for the next set of movie? Is that going to be like a slap? Like, are they going to change? Do they have to change the whole universe?
So I don't think so. I mean, they already have Aquaman that spins out of Justice League already. Wonder Woman, same thing. And they didn't really tie those movies very much to the universe that Zack Snyder created. I mean, they're part of the universe, but they didn't really tie them to any particular event or whatever, right? They're just kind of like, yeah, we had an adventure and moved on. I mean, I guess hypothetically, if they put this movie out and it's just gangbusters, it's loved, is there a world where Warner Brothers puts this movie on HBO Max and they get like 90 million views or something stupid like these Netflix movies get? I saw something that Chris Hemsworth movie Extraction could have up to 100 million views in the first month alone. Like, it's just, if it gets something like that and people just rave about it, yeah, could it reignite the universe? Yeah, I think it's possible. I think Warner Brothers, we've said this from day one, Warner Brothers, I believe, overreacted with Zack Snyder a little bit with some of the diminishing returns. And they just kind of scrapped the whole universe, and they still don't have any direction. But ultimately, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are the two most successful movies. I mean, with the exception of Joker, which has been hugely successful. But Wonder Woman and Aquaman both came from the Zack Snyder universe, from characters in that universe, and they are hugely popular. So would it be... the rumor is that Man of Steel 2 is going to get made. Nobody knows. I don't think Zack's coming back to direct that, but they want to bring back Henry Cavill for that movie because the fans really want another Superman movie with Henry Cavill because we all love Henry Cavill because he's awesome. Yeah, and he's a great Superman. So would it be insane to say that Warner Brothers could, especially now that they've really kind of reached out and there seems to be a lot of goodwill between the two sides to get this movie made? Zack seems very excited to put out his version of the movie that he wanted to make. Is it completely insane that we might get a Justice League 2 directed by Zack Snyder in the future? I don't think so. I mean, is it probably going to happen? I don't know, probably not. But Warner Brothers still has no direction of what they're doing. They're just making a movie here and a movie there. Harley Quinn, well, not, some people said it was a terrible flop of a movie. It was not a huge flop. But it did not give the returns that they had hoped for. Joker was huge, but it's alternate. Batman is, they've restarted Batman. But they don't have any direction for the universe that they have kind of currently going. I mean, there's another Wonder Woman coming out in the same universe. They're doing another Aquaman in the same universe. They want to do another Superman. So why not do another? If you could get Ben Affleck to have one more go as Batman, and you make a kick-ass Justice League 2, yeah, I mean, I can see maybe Warner Brothers might go for it.
Well, how I would like to see this play out, because they're doing it on HBO Max, and
Yes.
like you said earlier, they're either going to do a 4-hour movie, or they could break it apart into 6-episode shows. What if we could get Justice League like how they did the Watchmen TV show on HBO?
Yeah, that'd
Could
be
you
cool.
imagine how much fun that would be to watch? Of 6 episodes, I think 6 episodes a good season.
Yeah.
For a Justice League TV show. And that with the way that we're getting a lot of stuff now these days, Amazon's plopping $2 billion on a Hobbit, TV show. The way that the HBO did the Watchmen. We have stuff like the Umbrella Academy on Netflix, and with the way, and Lock and Key on Netflix, with the way that they've been kind of transitioning comic book to this to the streaming services. I like the idea of doing these things more as a longer
longer format
story.
than just a movie. Well,
that's how comic books are. You read 3 to 6 issues, and that's one arc instead of just one movie.
Yeah, and
I being able to do 6 episodes, you can have the long arc and just do something completely awesome.
Well, and I think that's what they're. Well, I think that's what they're trying to decide too, because ultimately, they've already announced they're doing a Green Lantern series on HBO Max, and we do know that it's been confirmed that Snyder has already said that Green Lantern does appear in his Justice League, so we're going to get Green Lanterns in his Justice League. So maybe if Warner Brothers is smart, maybe they use this opportunity, give him the extra funding, he can film a few additional scenes, and maybe he can spin out an entire universe on their platform based in the Zack Snyder universe that also ties into the movies that they've already made. And you could do that, and I think it would be really cool. And I think and honestly, I've seen some people say, why now? Why are they wasting $30 million on yet another thing? Because honestly, this makes a lot of sense for HBO Max. Netflix has been spending over $100 million to get movies made. I know Extraction was expensive. I don't think it was $100 million, but I do know Michael Bay's Six Underground was $100 million. I believe Martin Scorsese, The Irishman, was like $180 million. That's a lot of money to get one movie made for your platform. What HBO Max is already doing is they're taking a $200 million movie that's already been made, and all they have to do is give an additional 30 to get a whole new movie that people are going to be super excited about, and you can only get on HBO Max. It is a genius marketing strategy on their part.
Yeah, and some people might say, "No, why HBO Max? Why not? Why can't they just release it on the DC Universe app?"
Yeah.
And I don't think this is the kind of movie that they would want to do on the DC Universe app, because that seems to be more. It's the Justice League and all those movies have a way more broad base appeal.
Well, yeah, I mean the DC Universe app is more comic books and more animated stuff.
Very niche, and that's why on the DC Universe app we're getting stuff like the Titans, Doom Patrol, and Stargirl that just came out last week or this week. So they're able to do a lot of the smaller characters that you don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And the Harley Quinn animated show is probably one of my most favorite animated shows out there right now. So they can do niche stuff on the DC Universe app, and then they can do these big, huge, more broader movies that a lot of people would know the character on HBO Max.
Well, and not just that. I mean, there's a chance the DC Universe app gets folded in anyway into HBO Max, but the DC Universe app, they're looking for 20 million subscribers, right? HBO Max, they're looking for like 300 million subscribers. They are looking for Netflix-type numbers.
So
yeah. So, but yeah, and honestly, on that front, in some ways, it's cool that we're getting those kind of series, Green Lantern and stuff, on the HBO Max, because they're going to be willing to spend a lot more money on those platforms to get that thing going than they are on, say, DC Universe. So, but no, I mean, listen, if this isn't for you, that's awesome. All I say is like, hey, if you think it's the stupid news, don't shit all over the people like me who are super excited for this. I'm just glad. I'm glad. I like Zack Snyder as a director. I think he's a very great visual storyteller. I love Man of Steel. Me and you both really like Batman v Superman, the director's cut, and I'm really excited to see him be able to finish at least partially the story that he set out to tell. And I'm excited to see it. I'm very excited. Very rarely do us fans get something that you really want that you think is never going to happen, and it actually does happen. So I'm really excited about this news, and I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely this is HBO Max. If you are listening, this is 100% going to get me to subscribe to your service.
Yeah, and it's I don't know how you can not be excited. It's new content. I mean, who doesn't want new content? I mean,
absolutely. So, and you know what? If you're going to subscribe to HBO or you already got HBO, it's going to be free. So just watch it or don't watch it. Either way, we're glad it's made, and I think that's all I got to say about that.
We need more stuff to watch, anyways.
Yeah, because we're not going to have any movies or be able to go anywhere for another year. So hey, woo! Give me 30 hours of Justice League. I'm going to watch it. But on that note, well, that's it. We'll come back when we come up with a cool name for this segment when there's breaking news that we just have to talk about. But until then, everyone, stay awesome.
We'll have news hats.
We'll have news hats. We're going to have like shirts that say subscribe to us. Do it. Do it now.
I mean, I'm already not wearing pants. So
pants? You own pants?
I never wear pants.
Yeah, me either. I'm not wearing anything. I'm completely naked from the bottom of the shirt down. Think about that until next time, everybody.
Stay nerdy.
Stay awesome.